It doesn't matter what your dreams and hopes and ambitions are. It doesn't matter if you have a new boyfriend or a new girlfriend or you've got plans for the future. You can forget those plans because you're going to wind up dead.
Oh boy, it's a new episode of a podcast, and that podcast is called Decayed Tapes. I am Max Booth, and I am joined with my co-host.
Well, no, you messed up already. You're
How?
what's your scary name?
Oh, I am Max Booth.
There we go. And I am Miguel Myers. That's already scary in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty spooky. How long have you been using that name? I know it's not your legal name because I have a
No.
copy of your ID.
No, you don't. I was thinking maybe
You don't know
do.
what I have.
You're basically my employer now. No, it's not my legal name. I used it. I had the idea of starting a podcast like in 2021. I just don't want any employers to ever know anything about this side of me. So I was like, I need a name, and I find it so difficult to believe that people don't know that Miguel is Michael in Spanish. You
I didn't know.
did not know that Miguel is Michael in Spanish or whatever. And so it's just really, and I'm a huge Michael Myers fan. And so I was like, yeah, Michael Myers, Miguel Myers. And so I went with that. And I've been using it ever since. So about 2 years, 2.5 years.
Wow. And that podcast you do, what is that called again?
That is my horror confessional, now on the Ghoulish Podcast Network.
That's right, baby. I'm going to send you a W-2.
No.
You need to contact tax offices, the IRS.
Let me talk to HR.
That's me. That's my dog. Today we'll talking about something pretty fun. It's a movie you brought to my attention. So I know we have a lot of things to talk about, but let's kind of introduce the movie before we get into the other fun activities we have planned. Miguel, what is this movie called, and how did you even find out about it?
So we're doing The Resurrection of Michael Myers, part 1 and 2. And I found out about this when you approached me on the idea of doing this SOV podcast. And I was thinking, yeah, I mean, that sounds really good. Like I said in the first episode, I don't have a lot of knowledge in the SOV area. And so I was like, and I know, people like Bleeding Skull, Josie Emba and Annie Choi, they really love that sort of stuff. And I really trust their taste. So I was like, let me look into it. So I just kind of Googled like the best shot on video horror movies and just going down the list, whatever. And some of the stuff was caught my eye. Like I'd heard of them, like Boarding House and other sort of stuff, or Video Violence 1 or 2. And then I was just going, as I got further down the list, I'm like, I haven't heard of any of these. And I kept getting further down. And I saw The Resurrection of Michael Myers. I was like, okay, I'm interested. And so I looked it up. I don't even remember what the list was, but I looked it up, wasn't able to find it, except I found it on YouTube, but it was Swedish.
Yeah.
And it didn't have any subtitles, and the quality was absolutely horrific. Just terrible. Some of the worst quality. And I'm talking about the video, the picture, the quality of the picture. Looked absolutely terrible.
I'm sure it's been like transfilled through like 5 different VHSs or something.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the YouTube video that we saw was literally a copy somebody just recorded from VHS, and they so pissed they ended it early. Like, spoiler alert, I'm sorry, but they ended the credits early, and I was really digging the song.
Copy of a copy of a copy, right?
Yeah.
You a 9 Inch Nails head?
I don't get that.
It's a song by 9 Inch Nails. Copy of a
Copy
copy of a copy.
of a copy. Oh,
Yeah,
sick. And they are a musical band.
Yeah.
Oh,
They are a musical act.
okay.
The 9 Inch Nails, I should say.
Do
All
they
my
make
Twin Peaks fans out there.
do they make the rock and roll?
They do not. They
Okay.
make
Do they make horny music? I feel like they make
They
horny
do.
music.
They do. They have that song about fucking you like an animal.
And like they're kind of like in the same vein as like people are probably gonna jump down my throat. But like, I feel like horny music like Deftones.
No, well, not so much grunge. Nine Inch Nails is more like industrial music, if that
Okay.
makes any sense to you. Anyway, I just wanted to make a quick
I,
joke, and
I want you
now
to be
I
so
hate
sad that you made
myself.
that joke.
I'm
Yeah.
not.
Okay.
Everybody listening at home is like, yes, Nine Inch Nails reference. This guy is cool.
Yeah. Kurt Cobain, right?
Yeah, his wife blew his brains out. Go on.
They forgot what I was talking
It's
about.
okay. So that's what we're talking about today on the episode. But before we get into it, we wanted to take some time and talk about a Halloween convention that Miguel just got home from that I am so excited to like talk to him about because he hasn't told me too many details about the convention and we will saving it until we did this podcast. And if my math is correct, I'm going to release this episode, the one you are listening to right now, on Halloween Day. So it's like an extra Halloween celebration. So, Miguel, what was this convention? How long have you been waiting to go to it? How did this happen? Tell the listeners at home and me.
Yeah. So I went to this convention and I wanted to tell Max about it. Max was like, I don't talk to you in real life. Tell me on the podcast. Content, 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 baby. So I was like, okay, we'll wait. So first of all, happy October. Happy best season ever to everybody. I love Halloween season. I love Halloween the movie. And so I got a chance to finally go to Halloween the 45 H45, the 45th anniversary convention of the releasing of Halloween the movie. And I've been trying to go to it since the 30th anniversary, so like 15 years ago. But honestly, I'd heard about it at the 25th anniversary, and I have the DVD and the that came out and all that sort of stuff. So realistically, like 25th. So that's what 20 years. I've been trying to go to this convention. This year, when it was announced that it was happening, I had just recently been laid off from a job. I didn't really have the money to buy the tickets, or to buy the tickets yet, because it's like $60 for a weekly or a weekend pass. That's no problem. I live in Austin. I have to buy the plane tickets and also hotel, all the food, all that sort of shit. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to bet on myself. I don't know how many people are going to survive until the 50th anniversary. That sounded like a threat. I'm talking about the actors. How many of the actors are going to survive? And so I was like, I'm just going to do it. So I bought the tickets, and then I was like, I'm sure I'm going to have a job at the time. So luckily I was able to get a job at that time. And yeah, so we made it out to Halloween 45th anniversary convention last weekend in Pasadena, California. It was my first time going to California. Absolutely amazing. The first Friday, the first day of the convention. Well, the convention was Saturday and Sunday, but on Friday they had a walking tour. They said it was a bus tour, but it was more of a walking tour with some transportation, because we walked probably 10 miles in one day. And as you can tell, I am not equipped for that. And so I was hurting at the end of the day.
If you want to be able to tell, go to patreon.com/Decayed Tapes and you can see us. And you will go, oh yes, these guys would not be fit for a walking event.
Yeah, and you could see this dope ass shirt, this Laurie Strode shirt I got from Cavity Colors. I got that there. I got a bunch of cool shit.
I don't have any Halloween clothes. It's pretty
You
sad.
got that dope ass Demons hat. I love that.
I do. I have a Ghoulish Books hoodie. I'm in a bookshop right now, which anyone watching they can see a pillow and a blank wall. Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Now, you went to California, but correct me if I'm wrong. I thought these movies took place in Illinois.
Hey, I'm gonna throw something at you, baby. Movie magic.
You mean like Photoshop, CGI?
Yeah, for the mind.
Okay, imagination, if you want to get technical.
Yes, exactly. So they shot the original Halloween. They shot in Pasadena, California, and around that area. And so we met at the Pasadena Convention Center, and there was like 5 or 6 buses, and like the more expensive buses had like Sean Sean from Hallowed Grounds. Jesus, I'm forgetting his name now, but he's a guy who does all like the behind the scenes featurettes for like Arrow videos for like your Halloweens and all that sort of stuff. He goes to the filming locations of all that sort of stuff. And so he was the bus tour for some of them. He had Tom Atkins with him. A bunch of the like some of the Halloween actors were on some of those tours. I couldn't afford that tour. I afforded the regular tour. And so we went to like the shooting locations. We went to the babysitter houses, which were literally right across the street from each other. We went to the cemetery where they find that Judith's tombstone has been pulled out. Like we were standing on the spot. I took a bunch of pictures of that. We went to the hedge.
Is it still undug?
No,
No,
it's not.
They
no,
didn't.
They filled it in.
They didn't preserve that spot. I didn't like. I guess I am surprised to find out they did that in an actual cemetery. I mean, I assume they just like went to the local graveyard grunt and said, "Hey, dig us a hole so we can film the scene." I don't know how movies were made. Anyway, go on.
That's probably exactly how it happened. But yeah, so we went there. We went to the hedge where he pops out and all that sort of stuff.
Did you do it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got pictures.
No. Did you like? Could you stand behind the hedge and poke out? Like, was that an attraction?
Yeah, everybody lined up to take pictures there. In fact, a local dressed up as Michael Myers and allowed you to take pictures with him. So I have pictures of him poking out, and I have pictures of just me and him poking out. It was really cool. Like well, I'm sure if you live in Pasadena, you're fucking tired of it. I'm sure if you live if you own these houses, you're fucking tired of literally 200 or 300 people being in front of your house taking pictures, right? But
it is a goddamn sin against humanity that you have not shown me these photos.
I feel like, you and I were more like horror fans, but in the chat, like they're like, I know it's nerdy, but like they're like, wow, you're a really fucking nerd. So I haven't shared all those pictures, but I definitely, you know what, we could share some on the Patreon as well.
Oh, good idea. Yeah. On patreon.com/decayed tapes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so we took pictures there. Where else we go? Oh, we went to the church from The Fog. That was there as well, because John Carpenter really likes Pasadena. I think he lives in Pasadena or near it. So, and he's a grumpy motherfucker who never wants to leave his house, so he wants to film close by. We went to the Buccaneer, which was the bar that Dr. Chalice was at in Halloween 3, H3, Tom Atkins. Like that's where they shot the bar. So we went in there, and I was sitting in the seat, not the actual seat, but the location of where that was filmed and all sorts. So that was great. I actually have, for the Patreon, you guys can see this. I'm trying to not let the light. This is a limited edition Dr. Chalice Halloween 3 figurine put out by NECA and Sean Clark. That's the dude's name. I forgot it. It's on here.
Okay.
And signed by Tom Atkins.
Wow.
Limited edition.
What does it say? What did he write?
So he signed it, said "Stop it."
Hmm.
At the end of H3, he's like, "Stop it, stop it."
Yeah.
So this is probably the nerdiest thing I've ever bought, and I bought some nerdy fucking shit. But this is going for a pretty penny on
eBay.
I don't think I'd ever sell it, but
you
it's nice though.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You were gonna do like a giveaway to one lucky patron.
Oh yeah, once we make $10,000 a month. 10,000. So that was cool. And then
well wait. So you met Tom Atkins, he signed it. What was that like? This is like everybody's dad, basically. Like to me, he's my dad. And I think that's the same for many people.
Yeah. So he's an older man, he's like probably in his 80s, got to be in his 80s. So I met him on Saturday at the convention. No, Sunday, I'm sorry, at the convention. You had to wait in line. I waited in line for an hour. Like this dude made bank. Like both days, his line was an hour too long, and a signature is 40 and a picture is 60. That might be reversed. I don't remember exactly, but and like just imagine just the money that he was making. But It was kind of a bit disappointing. I'm not gonna lie, just because he's an older man. He gets
Yeah.
tired. He's been signing for a day and a half already. He went on a walking tour on Friday. I don't think he did the whole thing, but so by the time he talked to this person in front of me for like a minute or two, which when you're in line is a long fucking time, right? Because you need to like keep getting going, like keep it moving or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I like you, I like you. And he's like really jovial with him, really happy with him. And then he signed it and he's like, I like you. And then the guy walked away. And then she slid the lady that was helping him slid him my thing. And he went to sign it. And then he didn't even look at me. And then I was like, oh, yeah, Mr. Atkins, thank you so much. I appreciate it for you being here or
Yeah.
whatever. He's like, yeah, you're welcome. Didn't look up. And then I was like, may I shake your hand? He's like, yeah, okay. And then when he looked up to shake my hand, he like smiled. So he was nice then, right? But like I feel like he has a certain amount of like energy to give, and so he wasn't talking to everybody. He
Yeah.
just happened to talk to the person in front of me, and it didn't have much energy at that point to talk to me and maybe a couple people after me. So it was a bit disappointing, but still, like I got to shake his hand, I got his autograph, I got a picture of him signing it. I didn't get a picture with him just because it felt bad because these people are older and they get up out of their chair to get out to take a picture with you, and you can hear him grunting. He's like, ugh, you know,
Every
like
second is like a second leaving his life. It's like,
I'm like, and for what? Like, so I could post it on Instagram. And it's like, I'm okay.
yeah.
I was able to shake his hand, tell him thank you, and all that sort of stuff. So that was really a treat. Like that was one of the highlights. And then I also got a group picture with um Nancy Loomis Keys and PJ Souls, the two babysitters. I was cheesing from ear to ear. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, so I mean, basically, Saturday. Oh, I also picked up this. Wanted to show. This is just one of the things I got. This Halloween. It is a board game made by Trick or Treat Studios.
Okay. What is
Um,
the premise of the game? How do you play?
fuck if I know. I'm not gonna open it.
Is it like a shoots and laddles type of thing?
It's called
That
a
would be
hidden.
awesome.
It says it's a hidden movement game,
Okay.
and so whatever that means to anybody. And there's actually some like limited edition. So this comes with your pieces or whatever, but they're like black or green or something like that. And you could get some like limited edition orange ones, which is
Yeah.
extra money. So I ordered those as well. I'm probably
We
going to end up getting this box. So I wanted one to rock and one to stock.
okay, because we were talking about this before the podcast, and you said you had no plans of opening it, which I thought was insane.
Well, you guys can see a little bit of my collection behind me. But I have a lot of stuff that I was just collecting. It was just boxes and boxes and boxes. And a couple of years ago, I was talking to somebody who was also a collector. He's like, man, I just opened everything up. I kept the boxes. So if it's something where I can open the box and not break anything, not break a seal or something like that, I'll open it up. But if it's a seal like this, yeah, it's a sickness.
But
But I'm gonna buy
why?
another one.
Is the plan eventually to sell everything? Because you don't
No,
strike me as someone who wants to sell it. So what does it
no,
matter if it's open?
because if for some reason I should have to sell my collection, you're like, and it's not like people say retirement plan. Like I have my own retirement plan. It's not for that.
This podcast.
Yeah. Patreon.com. No, it's not that. It's just, who was I? I was talking to somebody. I could get further into this if you want,
Yeah.
but okay. So for me, like growing up in an immigrant household, we didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have a lot of money for toys. And so the toys I did have were like hand-me-downs, right? My brother's toys or whatever. Or if I get a new toy, if I broke that, I'm not getting another one, right? So I have to be really gentle with it and not break them and shit like that. So I think that's kind of carried on. It's like yes, they're toys, but they're also like really important things. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same way with books. I don't dog ear books. Dog ear podcast coming out very soon.
Coming soon, baby.
But I don't like dog ear books. I don't like I treat them with respect, and it's probably like the nerdiest thing to do, or it sounds very nerdy, but it's just something that's kind of ingrained in me at this point.
What is the like craziest or like most expensive thing you own in this Halloween collection? Because I've been up to like this attic that you have. It's nothing but Halloween shit. And there's a
Yeah.
lot. So like what is like the most priciest item that you have hidden?
Yeah, I have Laurie Strode's head in a what's it, I saw it's post I for the longest time, for like 4 or 5 years, I was collecting posters, Mondo posters and stuff like that. And so that's, in fact, you and I had like a 4 hour conversation the first time I came on your podcast about Halloween. But for in that time, I collected like a lot of the limited edition posters. So there's some posters that are up there that I spent way too much money on. Like the most I spent on a poster was probably $800 on a
Yeah.
poster, and it's gone up in value at this point.
Which
Um,
one is that?
so it's Ken Taylor, which is it's a horizontal. Yeah, it's like a scene of the Myers house, and it's like got silver on it. It looks great. That one, and then there's a Jason Edmondson one that came out a couple like 2016 that I have as well. But the one that I love the most is this Ghanaian poster that I
Yeah.
got from Deadly Prey Gallery. Got that maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And if for people who don't know, Deadly Prey Gallery works with these Ghanaian artists who a lot of them haven't seen the movie
Hmm.
that they're making a poster for it, and they kind of just tell them what the movie's about, and then they just go based off of imagination. And so I have this like Ghanaian poster of Halloween, and what they do is they paint it on the back of these sacks of
Rice?
rice or
Hmm.
flour. It could be rice or
Rice.
flour. Okay, rice.
It's rice people. It was also these artists were also featured in an episode of Conan O'Brien's show, his travel show. He went and he met with these people, and they did like a Conan O'Brien commission of him and his sidekick. It was pretty great.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't realize that. So I have so Deadly Prey Gallery a couple years ago, they put up this original, like it's huge. You can't see it because it's kind of like over here, but it is absolutely huge. It's the biggest poster I have, and to frame it would be like $1,000. So I reached out to Deadly Prey Gallery and he's like, how do people normally display these? He's like, honestly, people just put thumbtacks on the wall because they give you like this blue border around it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be as gentle with it as like with posters, you know? So
Yeah,
yeah.
man. They not to kind of not to like snitch a little bit, but we were just doing a book fest at Fantastic Fest, and Deadly Prey was still, and they had just like a dozen of the original posters just on the ground, and people kept stepping on them. And I thought this is blasphemy almost.
It's disrespectful. Like, if I was there, I would have been like, hey, yo, like, don't step on the fucking posters.
Yeah, let me tell you, the greatest gift anyone could ever give me would be to have these people commission an original painting of my movie. We need to do something. I think that would be pretty badass.
You know, for $600 for an original, I'm sure that they can work that out. Patreon.com/.
Decayed tapes.
Decay tapes. Yeah. Um,
I think that would be pretty cool. What
yeah.
else? Was there anything else about the convention we should talk about?
Met some cool people, got some limited edition Oh, you know who I met? Steph Hutchinson, who is I believe that's his name. I'm really hoping that's his name. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, he's a comic book artist of like the Halloween series that came out like around like 2008. And then he also did like some convention exclusive comic books from back in the day. He was a real cool guy to talk to. He signed this really limited edition connect for there's 4 comics that connect to make this one huge image of Michael Myers that I've had for over a decade now, and he wrote it and he signed it. Real cool guy. I was talking to him about making comics because I have written a comic in the past, and I happened to have one of my comics, and I gave it to him because I wanted him to read it. I just want to give it to him because I was having a great conversation. And he's like, "You're giving this to me?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, great. I won't charge you for the signature." So he didn't charge me for the signature.
Sick.
Real nice. But I felt bad because like I want to give him money, I want to support. So that allowed me to get other comics by him signed. So I was able to throw him some money. So,
And what
but yeah, he's
comic
a great
book
guy.
did you write?
I wrote a short story called The Haunted Rental. Wrote that with Zach Chapman, and that is found in House of Blood, which you can find on Zach Chapman's website.
You can also get it at Ghoulish Books.
And
We
get it
have
at
it.
Books, right? Is that on
Yeah,
the website as well?
it should be. I might have to
Okay.
check on that. I know you also got to see JC himself. He was a surprise guest, right? And
Yeah, that's right.
how did you get access to that show again?
Which show?
The panel that he was on? How did you get access to that?
Okay. Fuck. Yeah. There was a rumor going around the whole weekend that Jamie Lee Curtis was going to show up because there was a to be determined or to be announced panel on Sunday. So we're like, it's gonna be Jamie. It's gonna be Jamie. Then around Friday afternoon, people are like, it's not Jamie. She backed out or whatever. But it's gonna be John Carpenter. So we're all really excited. Then I was in line for a picture for with the babysitters with Nancy Loomis Keys and PJ Souls. And all of a sudden there's this huge commotion, and we hear that John Carpenter's in the building, and he goes to sit by Nick Castle. Nick Castle is the original Michael Myers for the majority of the movie. Won't get into it, but so he goes sit by them. They're talking, and it's like literally 20 feet away from where I'm standing. Then he goes and there's a photo opportunity. You could have paid $420 to take a picture of all the Myers that were there and all the original cast members. So it was about 10 people that were going to be there for $420. I was like, I love you guys. I don't have it. Even if I did have it, I don't know if I would do it.
I will Photoshop you into a photo with him, Miguel.
Thank you. Appreciate it. That's how I feel. But then Carpenter shows up, and he jumps into those pictures as well. So you paid $420 for 10 people plus John Carpenter. Maybe, but
still not worth it.
But what the people behind me were doing, they didn't know each other. The girl turned to the guy. Oh, first she asked me. She's like, you want to go halvesies? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, we go half and half, and then we were able to take the picture. I'm like, because you can have up to 2 adults in a picture with you. So like 220 or 210, whatever it is, 210 for that picture. But then I just have a random person in the picture with me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
Will they offended?
No, I was just like, I don't have the money.
Yeah.
She's a very nice person. Like I talked to her throughout the weekend. I just didn't have the money. And then so she asked the person behind her, and they were going to do it, but they both just couldn't come up with the money. So regardless, this person who I was talking to, she had a VIP badge. I had talked to her throughout the weekend. And so she got to go to all the VIP events and stuff like that. Well, after we got our pictures taken, she left. I was talking to the guy to get a protector for the picture, whatever. And she left, and I looked around, and she was gone. And then all of a sudden on the ground, I see a VIP badge. I was like, oh shit. 100% did not think it was hers.
So there's no name on this badge.
No, there's no name on there. There's no name on it. It just says VIP on it. So I grab it, and at that moment, they started seating people for the John Carpenter panel. And VIP was going to get in first. And I thought there's no way, because there were I could tell you 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. I don't know how many people were here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I need to get in that thing. So I yanked it real quick, shot right over to the VIP line, was nervous the whole time. I was like, fuck. They're gonna know. Got past security, walked in there, sat down. Perfect, no problem. I had met a dude and this woman. I had met them there, and they're like, oh, where are you? And I'm like, oh, I got in. Don't worry about me. I'll tell you later. Then I get a message from the woman, and she's like, did you find that VIP badge? And I was like, oh, fuck. Because I got really good seats. I was like 4th row.
Yeah.
You know?
So this wasn't the woman who was trying to get you to go halfsies.
It was her. It was.
Oh,
her,
okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, fuck. I was like, yeah. And I was honest. Like, yeah, I completely did not realize it was yours. I just thought it was a VIP badge. And I probably should have done it, but like, fuck it, whatever. So she's like, oh, no, there's no worries. I could see you from where you're at. Like, so she was only like 3 or 4 rows behind me.
So let me ask you this. So she texts you the question, did you find a VIP badge? How long did it take you to respond? Because she's watching you this whole time.
Oh, yeah, because she said I was, I I saw you sitting in the fourth row, and I thought, how do you get there? And then she's like, I saw the orange band because the
Yeah.
VIP came with the band, so I was like, fuck.
Yes, what I'm saying is she sends you this question, and do you just respond immediately, or do you like set the phone down and think about how to respond?
Set the phone down and thought how to
So
respond.
she's watching you, like she sees you read the message and then sees you set the phone down.
I didn't set it down, but I like turned it off so I wouldn't. But I kept looking my head down. But yeah, it was definitely awkward. I could feel the eyes. Like, I know you just have to be honest. Like, you can't be like, no, somebody gave this to me. I'm not going to do that.
She 100% believes you took this badge. Have you maintained a friendship after this, or is it just, have you gone separate ways now?
We've gone our separate ways. After that, the convention was basically over. So after that went out, I went to walking with this other guy that I met. He gave me a ride back, but she went her separate ways, and haven't talked to her since.
Hopefully she listens to this podcast.
Maybe
I
she
mean,
will.
I
She's a
mean,
very nice woman.
she's a fan of Halloween, obviously. She might listen to this episode. We might get a
Yeah,
lot of, what do you call a fan of Halloween? Like a Halloween head? Is it like a slang?
a Halloweener.
I love it. I think that's pretty much all you had to say about the
Yeah,
convention. Anything
yeah.
else? Any other highlights that you have to bring up?
No, I don't. It was just a great time. I think I was like, I wonder if I'll go back for the 50th. I think it will, but I won't do the walking tour. You could just do it yourself. Don't pay for a walking tour. You could just do it yourself.
You
Go
could
to,
probably just Google like a map, right, of
well,
what
I
to
was going to say
do.
Sugarmint Gallery, which is literally behind the original Michael Myers house. They sell maps there, $10. You can just buy that and walk around. I mean, it's you don't need to. I I'm kind of embarrassed how much I spent on that, but I'm glad. I'm glad for the experience. I met some cool people, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
do a tour like that again.
So it's every 5 years they do this.
They're supposed. I'm not supposed to. It's Yes, they do it every 5 years, but it like Sean Clark is the one who's been championing it, and he's like, I'm gonna do one more. Maybe I'll do the 50th, but after that, I'm done because it's a
Yeah.
lot of fucking work. It's a lot of work. But
Okay.
he's got a racket. He represents the majority of the people there, like the artists that show up and all that sort of
Oh
stuff.
wow. He's making
So
bank.
yeah, yeah, and like he was in on the deal for the Halloween 3 merch. Yeah, he's making
Yeah.
that.
We maybe we can go together for the 50th, and maybe they let us screen the resurrection of Michael Myers.
So that would be so fucking dope. Here's my thing. I want to champion this movie. We're gonna get to talking about it. I want to champion it. I want to get a Blu-ray of this made, and I want to get subtitles because what's funny is 90% of this movie you understand without subtitles,
I
but I
wasn't
still
lost at
kind of
all.
want to, yeah, but I
Yeah.
still kind of want to know what they're saying. I think it would be so great to bring this.
It would be like, I don't think it feels a demand for another like shot on video Blu-ray boutique label. Like I think Bleeding Skull and like Vinegar Syndrome, they have that pretty much covered. So like they need to get on this. I know like they've reviewed this movie on the Bleeding Skull website.
Yeah, I think that would be great. But what one of my pie in the sky things to do with this podcast, Max, and I told you about this, and you're like, it's not going to happen or whatever, but is to sort of like kickstart this process where if we make enough money, we're like, okay, if we get to this level, we're gonna hire a Swedish translator to get the subtitles for this movie, so that and then try to find the dudes who made it and like that. Like that's one of my
Okay.
overarching goals for this
So a
podcast.
Decayed Tapes Blu-ray company,
Yeah,
basically.
release
Cool.
of the resurrection of Michael Myers 1, and then I guess
Even
the
even
re-resurrection.
ghoulish videos, perhaps. Who knows?
Yeah, I
That would
think you
be
can do it.
pretty dope. I don't
Yeah,
know anything about the process of doing that, but I mean, the people who do those now didn't know until they taught themselves.
right. Yeah,
And anything could be discovered by Googling, except the origin story of this movie, which there's like no info on at all. I've tried looking this up online, and there's like 2 reviews that's not like on Letterboxd or IMDb, on like these blogs, and there's really no info about it. So we're talking about 2 movies. One was made in 87, and then the second one was made in 89. And both of them will maybe like 25 minutes long each.
Mhm.
And I've seen some people speculate that it's not even shot on video. Like one guy in the comments was like, no, this was made on Super 8 millimeter. And that might be true for the second one, but I think the first part of this movie is definitely shot on tape, because there is a difference in camera quality. I noticed it's not great with the second one, but there is a slight improvement, I think.
Yeah, I saw that as well. And really, if it's shot on Super 8, I mean, we're talking about the energy and
The
like the feel,
vibes.
the vibe, and the era. And so it's like semantics at this point.
Yeah, if I mean, what's important to us is like people who didn't already have like opportunities to make movies just decide, fuck it, I'm gonna make a movie with like 0 funds and see what me and my friends could do with like an empty wheelhouse. We probably will employ that. I mean, what is this
Yeah.
building that this movie takes place at? I was trying to like make sense of what it was.
I mean, trying to make sense of like
Anything?
anything in this movie, but basically, there's really not a plot to this movie. It's like he's real quick. He's at a movie theater. They're watching Halloween. It's the end of it, and then he says bye to his friend, and he goes to his work, and then it's just a chase scene till the end. So that's really like the overarching like plot of the movie, and we can go bit by bit to talk about it. But I just wanted to let everybody know that
Yeah, both
there's
of them.
really not much.
Both of them, honestly, are just like chase scenes.
Yeah, which I
Um,
kind of dug. I even have a note about it. Yeah. So for me, so the resurrection of Michael Myers, we found on YouTube. We will link it in the show notes. For me, the first image on screen, it says cult film with the jack-o'-lantern, and I'm immediately loving the vibe. And the music is hitting also. I'm like, oh fuck yeah. I think it's gonna be great.
I recently edited episode 1 of the podcast and uploaded it. And in that episode, you gave me shit for saying vibe, and now look at you.
Oh no. I gave you shit. Max Booth.
You
I give
almost
you
said
shit. I
Brooks,
say
didn't
vibes
you?
all the time.
You almost said Brooks.
No. Uh, yeah, I
Um,
gave you shit for saying it.
this begins after that logo, which I didn't Google, but I don't think I would have found anything relevant if I had Googled that production label.
Right.
Well, actually, before we begin, let's talk about who made this movie. I think that's a good way to go. So there's not a lot of info online, but I do have the names of the 3 guys who wrote and directed it. And that's Mike Beck, Richard Holm, who also plays the clumsiest man of all time in these movies, and also Henrik Wadling. Now, there's not much info about Richard and Henrik, but there's some really fascinating info about Mike Beck. And I would love for you, Miguel, to read the IMDb bio I sent you.
Cool. So Mike Beck was born in 59, Sweden. So Michael started out as a journalist on the legendary magazine Scandinavian Film and Video, but later became chief editor of the Swedish edition of Hustler. I like it. He created almost as much debate as Mr. Flint himself, so that's Larry Flint, by having suspected Olaf Palm killer Christer Peterson pose naked on a bearskin rug.
So this guy is the one who is suspected of assassinating the Prime Minister of Sweden. He gets to pose naked.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
He was tried, but he was let off on some type of technicality. So if I understand this correctly, he had him pose naked after all this had happened, which is really funny to me.
Did you say he was successful in assassinating? Like it was
Oh, he died.
killed. Wow. Okay.
Dude fucking got.
Wow. So then he also had a Swedish artist make a sex montage featuring several celebrities' faces imposed on naked bodies, which got him sued and forced to pay most of the celebrities a lot of money. He later moved on to filmmaking, and under the alias Mike Beck, he has directed several of the best Swedish porn film of the recent years, including Lustgarden and Ritskolan. I feel like this mini biography, the person who wrote it,
I think he wrote it.
Because it's called, the person who wrote it is Frederick Hustler.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I think there might be something there. But anyway, because how do you judge the most successful porn movies, you know?
I mean, even the US, don't they have like the film video awards every year?
Oh, AVN.
Don't you have a tattooed on you? Wait, what did you say?
Adult Video
Um
Awards, I think. AVA.
AFV. Millica's funniest videos.
Funniest home video, yeah. Okay, so then a total of over 300 feature-length films, as well as being publisher / editor of men's magazines like Actuel Rapport, Cats, Svenska Amateur, Fib Aktuellt. I'm sorry if I'm messing up these pronunciations.
I don't have the bio in front of me now, but if I recall, I think there might be a slew for a disabled person coming up. So watch how you phrase certain
Oh,
things.
I see that later on. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
And lector for many years. He has also made several amateur films along with his pals, films that during the years have gained cult status. The John Carpenter parody / tribute, The Resurrection of Michael Myers from 1987, starred himself as a sex-crazed zombie, and Sex, Lies, and Video Violence from 2000, which took 10 years to complete and in which he both produced and played the lead. He also, nope, I'm not going to say that. We're going to move on to that. He made a cameo appearance as a porn film director in Martin Month's thriller, Hjarta av Sten, in 2000.
This is why I did not want to read any of this. You did a much better job than I would have. Pretty, I mean, even if he did write it himself, at least now we know a little bit about the background of this. I didn't realize that he was the one who played the Hilny zombie in the second film of this movie.
Yeah.
Hubba Hubba.
Mercedes-Benz, Hubba Hubba.
Oh God, I love these movies. What did you think of them?
They're very charming. I wish the video quality was better because I want to see more of it than what we saw. But it's fun. It's silly. It felt like they were making movies for their friends with their friends. And they just it didn't need to make sense. It just needed to be funny. And there's room for that. There's room for everything. You know, there's room for serious movies. There's room for psychological horror, and there's room for silly horror movies like this.
I mean, if we ever get lucky enough to have an opportunity to put these movies out, imagine the copyright issues we're going to face with the soundtrack itself. I mean, the soundtrack is just completely stolen from John Carpenter's Halloween. I mean, even the opening of the movie has a clip of the end of Halloween 1 with the kids running out of the house yelling, "The Boogeyman seal, the Boogeyman seal," and Loomis shoots the shape.
Yeah. It'd have to be like underground or something like that. Yeah.
That or you take the soundtrack out somehow, which I don't know how easy that would be because I don't know anything about how to do this.
Well, there's a Chinese movie that I saw earlier this year.
Yeah.
And it's like a Hong Kong movie. It's like a kung fu movie, I should say, like a martial arts movie. And they completely ripped off portions of Halloween soundtrack for that. It was like a Shaw Brothers horror / martial arts movie, and they ripped, and that's been distributed. Like that's been distributed. So I don't know how that works, but I think it's something that could be taken care of. But yeah, the music, I think a lot of it, some of it was original, or I should say that they mimicked the music I think maybe some of like the musical stings were straight up ripped from it, but
Yeah.
do you think that it was some of the music was straight up ripped off, or do you think that they were just playing the music?
I think all the music was stolen.
Huh. Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe why I love the music, because I
It was
thought they were the
great
yeah,
soundtrack.
yeah,
So it begins with, as I said, the end of the actual Halloween one, and then we discover that we're inside a cinema, a Swedish cinema, and the main character, I don't know his name, but I'm going just call him the clumsy man. He has fallen asleep in this movie theater. He wakes up, he's like, ah, ah, ah. And then he just kind of like rushes out of the theater to go to his job. Is that right?
yeah. That's, I mean, from what I could make out, that's
The
what's
the
happening.
quality is so bad that we see him running to this building, and I could not tell if he was holding a suitcase, like a briefcase, or a fucking boombox. It
Yeah,
took me a long time to make out what he was holding.
I mean, also just keep in mind if you go look these things up, there are no subtitles. So if you don't know Swedish, you don't know what's happening. You don't know what they're saying. But that's fine. Like we said earlier, it doesn't really. In fact, it adds to it a
I
bit for me.
should have. I regret not having my buddy George Cotronis on this episode because he lives in Sweden. He could have easily helped us translate most of this movie.
There's our connection right there. Let's we can have him translate it.
Yeah, for anyone, just a quick plug for George. If anyone needs a book cover made, look him up. He does lots of great book covers. He's done many for Ghoulish in the past. He's really talented.
Thanks.
So
So yeah,
yeah,
so they're watching the end of Halloween in the theater. Oh yeah, yeah. He goes to his work. And what I said with the music, it sounds very close to the theme to Halloween too. So I was like, oh, that's probably why.
it is.
Um, and then they have ripped music from elsewhere, but he arrives at work. We get the musical stings from Halloween one, and then he like goes to his desk and he hears a noise, like a poster falls off. He goes to look at this. It's a Swedish poster for Halloween, the
Yeah,
movie
so
Halloween.
that's what I spent so much time trying to figure out what like setting this is. Is it a place that does like prints? I don't know. But of course,
Maybe
that's
he's in.
spoiler at the end. It's a dream. So obviously, this is all just like details from the dream that he's having.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so it looks like maybe he works in a I don't fucking know, maybe a mail room or something. I don't fucking know. But the this poster falls down. He goes to pick it up and he smashes it up and throws it away. Like to my heart, I was like, because I'm a poster collector. I'm like, oh my god, what I would give to have a original Swedish version of the of Halloween
You
poster.
think that was a Mondo?
Yeah. So he crushes it up and throws it in the trash. And then I did not know what happened next was going to happen. It was really kind of like they don't give a fuck. They're like, and they do it later on in the part two. They're just like, we want to get there really quickly. We don't have time to do this. So we're just going to move along. Do you remember what happens here?
My note says MM Michael Niles. I don't have time to write down his name.
Yeah,
MM cuts himself out of a box. Is
out
that
of
what
the
happens?
garbage, out of the he stabs himself. First of all, Michael Myers stabs himself out of the garbage bag. So
Oh,
we're to assume that he was in the poster, and for whatever reason, once he got crushed into that bag, he magically came out of that bag.
dude, some people have crushing fetishes. Is this to imply that Michael Niles has a crushing fetish?
Yeah, let's go with
I
that.
think
Yeah,
so. I don't know. I
it's
think that's a thing, right? Like you like
it's better than
you take an aluminum can, you just crush it, and people just jack off to that.
I didn't know that was a
I
thing.
don't know. The only, I mean, those like pie stepping fetishes, right? Like,
Oh,
oh,
there's
yeah,
everything. There's something called a Rule 39 or something like that. Like
yeah, yeah.
if you could get that,
Everything has a film video to it or something.
yeah,
Even people smashing prints of Halloween. That's a fetish that you don't
yeah.
have.
I do not have that. No, that actually opposite of fetish. Whatever opposite of fetish is, it's that. So he stabs himself out of the trash, and I'm thinking, did that just happen? Because I'm so happy if it did. He walks, and so either we see Michael Myers, and the mask isn't very good, but that's fine. It's not a full mask. It's just a face mask with like
Yeah.
rubber, with like those strings attaching it, whatever. You're not
If
here for the mask.
if anything, the bad quality of the video kind of helps the movie because you can't really tell how bad the mask is.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like if we're ever able to get this in 4K, we'd be like, "Oh, this was a big mistake."
The sets. I would love
Yeah.
to play this movie like at the bookshop sometime. Just like don't tell anybody anything about it and see how long it takes for them to leave.
Yeah. You just have to make sure that you do a book reading before, and then everybody will leave right away.
Excellent. I might even provide a free pizza. So he comes out of the trash can, which I did not realize is what happened. I was really confused trying to make it out. We cut back to Clumsy Man, and we immediately find out why I have called him Clumsy Man because he is like walking down the hallway and he looks behind him for some reason. I don't think he quite knows he's being chased yet. And then when he turns back, it is the most comical walking into a wall I've ever seen. Began laughing. This is when I began laughing at the movie, and I did not stop until it was done. He hits it with his face and just fucking flies back.
Well, oh yeah, I don't think it's happened yet, but when he goes down some stairs and he literally like tumbles. Yeah. And when that happened, when he got hit in the head, when he walks into the wall or whatever, I thought, oh, I bet he's going to be dreaming this, because as soon as he gets up, that's when Michael Myers appears for him. So that was my connection. But we find out it was a dream from even earlier than that.
Yeah. I mean, he was dreaming about just clocking into his job,
Yeah,
which
that's
we've
terrible.
all had those fairly tedious dreams.
Yeah.
So this is when he sees MM himself. He gets up, he runs away. There's a lot of chasing going on. My next note is when he runs into who I assume is like a co-worker. It's difficult to tell who everybody is due to the lack of subtitles, but they obviously know each other and they probably work together somehow.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to say was, so he's being chased. This felt very much like Laurie and being chased by Michael Myers and H2. And then I also thought, like, I know it's silly, but it's still kind of tense with that music. It's just the music that helps it. So you're like, yeah, this is funny, this is silly, but this is still Halloween music.
If you watch the original Halloween on mute, I don't think it would be great.
That's what like Carpenter said, like when he first showed it to like producers, they're like, this movie sucks, and then they saw it with the music, and it's a completely different music. I'm sorry, it's a completely different movie, so I can see that. Yeah. But so he walks into his friend, he's telling his friend like, be careful, whatever. And the friend checks to see what he's talking about. He looks out the door, doesn't see anybody, and then he closes the door, and then Michael Myers is right there behind that door. And I thought, how'd he get there? There's literally no way, no physical way for him to have gotten there.
Listen, if we ask these questions, this podcast is not going to end.
But I still like it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care, but also like, how'd you get there? That sort of thing.
You know what else I like? Fucking great practical effects. And this movie is just nothing but that, because he slices this dude's throat and it looks tremendous. I loved it.
Yeah. Again, because of the quality of the film that we're seeing.
Yeah.
If we were to get a sharper image, it might not be the best, but for how we saw it, it looks great. It looks absolutely great.
If someone does bring this movie out like on Blu-ray or something, don't fix the video. Just make it look like that, because that's how it needs to be seen, I think.
I think making it just a bit sharper would be great, but yeah, I don't. It does need to be 4K, maybe 2K or something like that, and subtitles. And what I want more than anything is special features.
Yeah.
documentaries and shit like that.
At least one of the three who made this is dead. It's possible two of them are already dead, if not three.
God damn. Well, Mike Beck might be dead also.
I don't know about Mike Beck. On nothing, if you just Google them, nothing shows up. And IMDb, one of them was definitely dead, and the other one just had like nothing at all discussed about him.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, that might make it easier. Who are you gonna sue?
Exactly. So the clumsy man runs away, and he gets into an elevator, and he runs into who I think might be a security guard, based only because he has a flashlight in his hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he did try to call somebody, and Michael Myers was on the phone, and you could hear the heavy breathing.
Yeah.
So you know it's not at that point. You kind of know it's a dream, right? There's no way that's happening. Right?
I was a little surprised when the dream
Oh, really?
reveal happened. I wasn't thinking
fucking
that way.
rube.
I was
You're a rube.
disappointed. I'm always disappointed at dream endings. That's the only thing I disliked about this, and also the second one, because both of them end that way. And
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't have to do that. Just embrace the bizarro reality you've established. Why not? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, that's true. But he runs into that security guard, and the security guard, he's telling him Michael Myers is coming. And you can hear Michael Myers. Like, there's no translation. They say Michael Myers, which is cool.
Yeah.
And the security guard's like, whatever. He goes on, he finds his dead body, and he goes to check on him. Zombies. It's a zombie, people.
In my notes, in all caps, it says zombie with 3 exclamation marks. I was so surprised to suddenly have the fucking undead just come out. Really much, not just a zombie, but a deadite type of zombie too. Same like eyes, I think, and the same like movement. They will definitely inspired by Sam Raimi.
Yeah, I can see that, definitely. I put in my notes, who put zombies in my Halloween movie? But I like it. This is the only kind of zombie I like in my Halloween franchise.
Whoa. That was all in your notes?
Whoa. No, I just came up with that one right now.
Oh, okay, cool. Improv.
But those pretty good effects here. Like you were saying earlier, the practical effects are great. There's like, so the zombie security guard or zombie, whatever the fuck was on the ground, bites the security guard, and there's like skin pulling and teeth, and there's eye gouging. It looks great.
Movie is disgusting. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now we then go to, according to my notes, a different security guard who has just like a comical amount of videotapes he's walking around with. What's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that they were, because in the second part something like this happens as well, but they start saying the name of the movie.
Yeah.
So like they're copies of the resurrection of Michael Myers. So
copy of a copy of a copy. Sorry.
Yeah. Is that
anyway
like Grateful Dead? Is that
the guy
Dead?
with the videotapes? He runs into old Mikey, and he gets stabbed. He stabs the videotape, and then what happens?
Actually, at this point, I really couldn't make out what happened. I didn't know who this character was.
It was difficult.
Yeah, but like I think he killed the dude on the elevator, and there's musical stings from Halloween 2 on there. He's watching a movie, but Myers shows up again and kills somebody else through the movie, like you said, through the videotape. And I put it here. I'm not sure what the fuck is happening, but it's still cool.
So let's fast forward a bit to, we go to the like the lobby of this setting of this odd Whittle house, and we get the song, the Boogeyman song, I'm your boogeyman, I'm your boogeyman. And I wanted to ask you, considering that he is in the actual John Carpenter movies referred to as the Boogeyman, has this song ever been used in one of the Halloween movies? Because it seems like a crime if not.
Crime seems like a lot. No, I think it would be a crime to use it.
No?
I like disco a lot, but I just don't think that this particular. So no, to answer your question, no. To my recollection, it hasn't been used. Perhaps in the Rob Zombie remakes or whatever, I've only seen them once each, or twice each. But regardless, it hasn't been used. Obviously, the song that's used the most is Sandman,
Yeah.
Mr.
But
Sandman.
why though, you think?
Yeah, I don't
That
know. I
would
think
be a
they're going for the
Nightmare on Elm
creepy.
Street song, if you really think about it.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
Your
know. It's just creepy.
Boogeyman is a Halloween
Yeah,
song.
but it's you see how they dance, how this guard is dancing to it. It's too peppy.
I
You
do.
don't want you.
I do.
Yeah. So Michael Myers kills the guard. Same death as the nurse in Halloween 2, where he lifts her off her feet. Same thing here.
Oh,
He
wait,
lifts the
wait, wait.
security guard off the feet. Did I
This
skip ahead?
is you skipped the skate building scene.
Sorry, go ahead.
We get back to the clumsy man who's running down the hall, and suddenly it's just a skate build in this hallway, and he steps on it, and now it's like whoa, and he begins just skate building through this building, and then he crashes somehow. I forget how. And this the security guard you mentioned, he picks up. He has a gun. He gets his gun out and goes after the clumsy man. And that's when Michael pops up and does the pickup strangle hold wrestling
Yes.
move that we
Yeah.
also saw happen in Video Violence as well. And we complained about it.
Yes. Yeah.
But he drops the gun, and Clumsy Man picks up the gun, and he shoots Michael. Nothing happens until he shoots him in the kneecaps. And I don't know if that's ever been done in a Halloween movie either.
I said the same thing. It's like I didn't know if it was the kneecap or the leg, but he shoots him 6 times. 2 of them are in the leg or the kneecap. And I said, nobody's ever tried that. And he goes down. I really like that. That's like, you think like everybody goes for the head, or no, they don't really go for that. Well, yeah, Lori did the eyes, but like the
Yeah.
chest, but they never go for the knees or the legs. I really like that aspect of that.
I think that's the beauty of watching like a fan film, because obviously these people have seen the original movies and they've had that thought, like, shoot him in the knee. What would happen then? So they went and made a movie with that happening.
Yeah. And then so Michael goes down, and what do you call him? The clumsy man.
The clumsy man.
He falls down the stairs again, really
Whoa,
comically.
whoa.
Yeah. Head into a vase. At this point, it's just a cartoon. And Michael appears behind him. The zombie appears in front of him. And then like Michael Myers backs away a little bit. He's like, he's not quite sure what's happening here.
Well, the zombie gets into a karate pose. It begins like kicking him and trying to do these Mortal Kombat moves on him.
Yeah. He does the kung fu or whatever. He scissor kicks Michael Myers like Liu Kang style, which is dope. There is a bit of a musical sting here that was a bit problematic or racist.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I'm not even going to bring it up. But question: this is called The Resurrection of Michael Myers. Yes. What is the movie called with Busta Rhymes? Is that Halloween Resurrected?
Halloween Resurrection.
Resurrection. Okay, similar titles. Odd, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck does Busta Rhymes do at the end of that movie? Karate on Michael Myers. They've seen this movie. There's no doubt in my fucking mind that they did not see this movie ahead of time. The similarities are too odd to me.
I'll give it to you. But to be fair, like that came out in what, 98? 98. Way before YouTube, way before anything. So like, how would they have gotten their hands on
VHS?
Yeah.
Are you telling me like some maniac didn't send John Carpenter a copy of this movie at one point?
Carpenter had sold his interest in the Halloween franchise at that point.
But
so.
I'm not saying I'm not saying he saw this tape and went, "Oh, this is great." I'm saying he got the tape and flung it into a pile of like fan mail, but somehow that tape made it to someone else. That is what I'm trying to.
I think 2 maniacs came together with the same idea. I think, but it's a cool conclusion to draw to, cool connection to make.
Thank you.
Yeah. Then Michael Myers gets the zombie stabs the zombie in the head with the knife. And that's the end of the zombie there. Like the zombie does like a pratfall or whatever, like and dies. And then Michael Myers proceeds to choke the clumsy man. The clumsy man, trying to protect himself, pulls the mask off, and it is, lo and behold,
Frederick Krueger.
Frederick motherfucking Krueger. And this way that scares the guy, and he wakes up and he's still in the theater watching Halloween. Has just ended, watching Halloween with his friend, and it just ended. So it was a dream the whole time, everybody.
Disappointing.
Yeah. But so he walks outside. It isn't quite the end yet. He walks outside and he has the same conversation with his friend as he did in the dream. And there's
Yeah.
kind of like a musical sting. So you're like, oh shit, did he just dream? Did he just dream what was about to happen? Or, obviously it's not going to happen. Freddy's going to show up or whatever. But yeah, that's the end of the resurrection of Michael Myers.
Felt one. We have a whole second one to discuss. But
Right,
I did think for a second that we might have been like in a time loop or something, but it just went to credits.
Yeah, it went to credit crazy Swedish dudes dancing at the end of the credits. And at the very end, they have an image of John Carpenter. It's a nice homage to him, like paying respect to the man.
Yeah.
Just cool.
What a
It would have been nice
beautiful
to see some
piece.
Deborah Carpenter. Deborah would have been nice. Sorry to interrupt you. I was just gonna say it would have been nice to see some Deborah Hill love there as well.
Yeah. But we can't
Patriarchy.
all fucking Sweden, man. Sexist.
The most
what
sexist
happens.
society in the world.
That's what happens when three men from the most sexist society on the planet make a movie.
Yeah. So let's talk about, just before we jump into part 2.
Yeah.
What did you think of part 1?
I loved it. Besides the ending, I had such a fun time. When I first began watching it, I was a little like skeptical. I thought, "Oh, we've made a mistake." And then I think I was completely in it when he ran into the wall. After that, I was just like, "This movie is great." I kept texting you, like, "I love this movie. This is the best movie I've ever seen."
Max just texts me all the time when he's watching like America's Funniest Home Videos. He's like, "The dude got it in the balls."
Now,
that's all Max needs.
To be clear, that you're talking about AFV, which is the pornography network, and
yeah,
dudes do get it in the balls. You are correct.
Yeah, that's true.
My favorite episodes are the ones that have docs in them. What did you think of it?
Of the dogs?
Anything.
Yeah. No, I really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, it was charming. I love people going out and filmmaking, making stuff. I love the creativity involved in it. I just love the not worrying about trademark infringement, like just fucking going out and doing it,
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of sucks. Like, if you think nowadays trying to do this, like, even, well, it brings a good question. Like, you would think if you made a video like this and just uploaded it to YouTube only, that just the stolen soundtrack alone would be enough to get flagged and deleted. So it's kind of odd that it is on YouTube.
And that's what I mean. I think that they copied the music but changed it up just enough where the algorithm isn't finding it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe John Carpenter doesn't give a shit to have his music flagged like that. Maybe he's pretty cool.
He's a grumpy motherfucker, and all he wants is money. So I don't know.
Should we even bother rating something like this? It seems
maybe we can
to
rate both of them.
Yeah, like the episode, this episode isn't going to be 1 and 2. It's just going to be called The Resurrection of Michael Myers. I mean, together they don't even make one complete like feature film.
Yeah, both of these together were like 47 minutes, and they're kind of pretty evenly. So it's like, what, math, 25, 24 minutes each or something.
I have no idea. All right, folks, for those watching along, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back to discuss the second half of these movies.
All right, and we are back, and we are going to continue our Michael Myers spooky episode for Halloween today. We're going to talk about Resurrection of Michael Myers Part 2. Yes, he was re-resurrected. He was resurrected-er.
I have to tell you, so we watched this on YouTube, and the video was called The Resurrection of Michael Myers, Part 1. And then the suggested videos was something called Part 2. So when the credits on this end happened, like midway through the movie, and it began, the second one began playing, I thought, what the fuck? Is this like a one of those, is it called like a Sting video? Like a clip happens after the credits? What is that called?
Oh,
I think
Easter egg?
Sting.
No. Sure, let's go with that.
Okay. So I thought maybe it was something like
End credit
that.
scene, like an end credit scene. Sorry.
Yeah,
End credit
because
scene,
I
yeah.
was so confused, but no, it's just that video has both of them together, but it's just badly titled.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was like, I thought part 1 was 47 minutes and the other one
Yeah.
was a lot shorter or whatever. So, yeah, but so we're in part 2. We're starting in the theater again. And just immediately, this dude starts frothing at the mouth. Is this Clumsy Man from part 1?
I don't know.
There's no way to tell because the quality is a bit better, but not much better.
Yeah, like we said, this might be Super 8 now. I don't know. The slight difference in camera quality, but not much. Is he ODing? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, but off of what? I don't know. They don't explain. I don't need
Fucking
the explanation.
cool movies, man. Just ODing on spooky cinema.
Well, it's part 2. It's their part 2. That means they need to get Michael Myers. They need to get to the hospital, just like
Yeah.
H2. So I think that's what they're doing. They're like immediately. There's no time to waste.
Oh, is that what happens in the second Halloween movie? It's been a long time since I've seen the sequel.
Yeah, so the sequel is it starts up immediately on the same night as part 1, and then they have taken Laurie Strode to Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, and the setting of the movie is in the hospital.
The whole movie's in the hospital.
The majority of the movie is hospital, except when we're with Dr. Loomis, and he's going around town to like
Okay.
the schools and stuff like that.
Is that a good movie? Would you say?
I enjoy it. It used to be like if we're listing my favorite in the franchise, it used to be right up there. It'd be like H1, H2, and then
Rob
like
Zombie's Halloween 2.
no. H1, H2, and like H2O. I really enjoy H2O now. So yeah, it's still up there. It's a good movie. What they do to Jamie Lee Curtis's character of Laurie Strode in it is kind of unforgivable because in the first part she was so like she was defending these kids and she was like she had autonomy, and this one she's like drugged up and just kind of like running away from him the whole time. So that was after I've watched it and I know a little bit more about how women have been treating it in movie and in the world in general, it's a bit more frustrating, but so it's not still my favorite, second favorite anymore, but it's up there.
JC made the second one too, right?
No, Rick Rosenthal or maybe made it. I'm somebody's gonna kill me for that, but
I knew he did. I knew he didn't want a second one to happen, but then I thought maybe like he was like contracted to make it.
He wrote it.
Okay.
So he wrote it, but he did not direct it. Rick Rosenthal directed it. Him and Deborah Hill wrote it.
Okay. And like Deborah is like pretty much responsible for most of his like great movies, right? Is that
in the 80s she executive produced a lot of his movies, a lot of like the ones that he's like most known for. They on Halloween they were boyfriend and girlfriend, and then like they separated, but they had a I guess good working relationship because she did Attack on Precinct 13, she did The Fog, Halloween 2, Halloween 3.
When you say she did, she's just producing, is she writing with them as well?
She produced Halloween, and so she was a co-writer on Halloween 2. She produced them as well. Halloween 3, I know she produced. She did not write that though. This Nigel something or other.
My hero.
Yeah, I can't think of.
Didn't you tell me at the Halloween convention you just did there was a little bit of like a heated moment with the panel with John Carpenter being accused of like not listening to
The
women or
women.
something. What was that about?
Yeah, so at the panel, so it was supposed to be just him and one other person talking, but because he's a grumpy motherfucker and he's like, I don't know what we're going to talk about, he started just calling everybody who was there. So like he called Nancy Keys or Nancy Loomis, told them to come up on the table. They're back there signing autographs. He's like, no, I'll get her up there. So you got Nancy Keys up there, you got PJ Souls up there, he got uh I forget who else up there, but he was talking. He's like, well, let me ask you this. He had like a very pointed thing to say to Nancy Keys. He's like, Nancy, I want to ask you something. A couple years ago, you said that Halloween was made by the patriarchy. And he's like, I'm the patriarchy. And she's like, yeah, it was. It was made by the patriarchy, and you're part of the patriarchy. And he took offense to that. And he was like, yeah, but what about Barbie? Barbie is like the number one movie in America now. And what was I forget the other name of the movie that he named. And she's like, yeah, it is. And it's great. But Halloween was 40 years ago, John. And it's because of people like Deborah Hill
Yeah.
fighting and being a woman in the industry and doing her thing that is it who directed Barbie? I forget.
Greta Gerwig.
Greta Gerwig, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
she's like,
what did he mean by that? What about Bellamy? Well, a woman directed that, and you, a man, directed Halloween. What was his point?
yeah, I don't. He's just a grumpy old fucking man. Like for my horror confessional, which is the podcast I do that is now on the Ghoulish Podcast Network. I just did The Thing, right? And I was talking to my guest on there, Leslie, and he said that, and we were talking about it. Like, yeah, there's no men on this. There's absolutely, you hear one female voice, and it's the computer chess game that is a female voice, and that's it. And you don't see any women or anything like that.
I gotta be
So
honest. I'm glad for that. I'll tell you why. I don't want to see what type of movie would have been made if like they had one woman who was milking Ville with all these men in an isolated like snow filtress. I don't want to see like the problematic way that would have been explored.
I think I don't think I want maybe not just one, and maybe two. They could have been people, women of color. I think it would have
Yeah,
been great to see
but no more than
the.
two. I'm sorry.
It could have been all the thing remake, all female cast. Would have loved
Have
it.
you seen the movie Mean Girls from like
Yeah,
2002? What
yeah, I
if
love it.
like you remade the thing but with that type of setting, like a high school?
I mean, basically, yeah, right. Like it just where nobody trusts anybody.
That kind of is that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Who should we pitch this article to? In this essay, I built yada yada yada. Um,
Um, yeah,
wow. If I had a chance to interview John Carpenter, I love that guy. I love the movies he's made. I don't think I would accept that opportunity. I don't think there's anything you could talk to him about that he wouldn't be a fucking grouch with.
he's like your. So you have to keep in mind, he's made movies that we love, but he's a human.
Yeah.
He is problematic. He is almost 80-year-old boomer. Like he's thankfully hasn't espoused any like far right opinions or has come out as a Republican or anything like that. But he's gonna be problematic and he's grumpy. But he's like your grumpy old lovable grandfather sort of thing.
Yeah,
All he wants to do,
I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying
right.
I think it would be a really difficult conversation to make happen. Because he obviously doesn't want to engage in that type of stuff. He doesn't give a shit. He's famous. He has all the money he needs now. He just wants to be left alone.
Well, he kept bringing up the fact that like, yeah, I'll do it. Just pay me. So like, all he wants to do is like smoke weed, play video games, make music with his family, and that's it. And I dig it. But to give him credit, those audience questions, and we're in Los Angeles or Pasadena, so a lot of people are in film school. And one of the women that went up to ask him a question, she was like, "I'm in film school right now," and I said, I don't remember the extent of her question or what she asked, but he answered it. And at the end, he's like, and then you're going to go on and you're the future of the film industry, and you're going to go on and do great things. And I know that you're going to do the great things because when your first movie comes out, you're going to email me, you're going to tell me that it came out, and I'm going to come to it.
And
So it's like, that's really cool.
did he shill his email address?
Not out loud. Maybe she followed up with him later. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's a cool thing to say. John,
Yeah.
I've read like interviews with him, and he seems like a cool dude. He just seems like someone I would not want to have the job of interviewing.
Yeah, well, and I completely agree because he wasn't the best interviewer because he's at this point, like, it's a 45. He's been talking about this movie for 45 fucking years.
Yeah,
I love the movie. I'm sure I would be tired of it, and I didn't even fucking make it. But he did have one funny thing he said, or his rules to life. Remember, I put this in chat. He said, "Never leave home unless absolutely necessary. Never eat fish, and don't travel south of the border." Which border? I don't know. Maybe Canada. I don't know.
I don't think he meant Canada, dude.
So that was his 3 keys to life.
It is pretty fucking odd that, like, with how famous he is and what type of following he has, he, at least from the way he describes it, he can't get funding to make anything.
I thought the same thing. Like,
I mean, he had a few flops, yeah, but like that doesn't outweigh the classics he's made.
Yeah, and I just think he doesn't. I think he could probably get the money, but maybe he just doesn't have the desire anymore. But I find the same thing. How is he having trouble? It's the same thing with Akira Kurosawa. Like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Akira Kurosawa, but
Seven Samurai.
Yeah. Roche.
I just watched a movie he made that was great. High and Low.
High and Low, yeah.
Great movie.
Amazing. One of the best directors ever in the history of the world. He had trouble funding, had to go to Russia to get funding for his movies. And like, that's how he was able to make movies in the later part of his career. It's like, what are you guys doing? This is Akira Kurosawa. This is John Carpenter. These are legendary film directors. The thing that they had in them that allowed them to make those great movies, they still have in them. They just need the fucking money. It's just really weird to me.
What do you, I will, and folks listening, we will get to the movie in a second, but we want a John Carpenter digression right now. What do you know about this anthology show that he somehow was involved in that's coming out that he directed from his house? Is that what it was advertised as?
He literally said, so somebody asked him what he's got next or something like that. I think PJ Souls said, you can't wait to see the show. He's like, guys, let me tell you, I was able to get out of bed in my PJs, roll out of bed, and direct something. He's like, I loved it. So I was like, okay. I mean, like, that's all I know about it.
Did he elaborate on how he did that? Was it just like a Zoom directorial thing?
He did not. He did not go into it, no.
And plus, he has a video game coming out that looks terrible. And I'm pretty sure the only involvement was they paid him money to put his name on it.
Probably the name and probably music, but it looks like a tank game.
Yeah.
Doesn't look, I mean, maybe it's reminiscent of like a Escape from New York or something like that. But really, I don't see where it has anything to do with him. So I'm not going to be playing it.
What's that video game he's always talking about wanting to do a movie of?
That I'm not aware. I'm not sure.
He's said it in a few interviews. I forget which one because I'm not like a big game guy. But it's like a survival horror game. Maybe that takes place in space. I'm not quite positive.
Among Us?
No, it's not Among Us. Those listening probably know what I'm talking about. But he's mentioned his like desire to make this as a movie many times in interviews. So maybe it's odd that like someone hasn't listened and said, "Okay, we'll give you a bunch of money. Please make this a movie."
Dead Space.
Dead Space. That's it. Did you Google it?
Yeah, I did. I Googled it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for, baby.
I don't know anything about that game.
Yeah, and me neither. I've never seen it. I've never played it.
Do you play you play Vampire Survivors?
I play Vampire Survivors. I play Dead by Daylight. I play like BioShock, Mass Effect, that sort of stuff.
I don't have the info in front of me, so I'm basing this off of research I did like 5 years ago. But Halloween was one of the first like spooky themed video games to come out. That and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They came out on fuck, I can't even think of the system. But it was before they had like video game ratings because no one had thought like, oh, we need some type of system in place. And also they were made for really cheap because at the time no one had even thought to option video game rights from movies yet. But whoever made these games, they did that for really cheap. And they made these video games. And I think like if I recall correctly, the Halloween game was you will Michael Miles trying to kill the babysitter. Does this ring
Yeah.
any? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, yeah. This is one of the things that I haven't been able to get my hands on for my collection that I really wanted. It's an original copy of this game, but it was made for like the Atari. It was made for Atari, the game system. Yeah, released in '83, and from 1983, you understand like how bad the graphics were, or not bad, but just what the graphics were at the time, and so it's really a simplistic game. You just needed to avoid Michael Myers. You're not playing as Michael Myers.
Oh, okay.
You're playing as the babysitter trying to stay away from Michael Myers.
That maybe it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, which came out around the same time. Well, you play as Leatherface, just chainsawing ladies, basically.
Yeah,
It was one of those where
it's
you
made
played
by the
as
same
a
company.
slasher. Yeah, they came out like the same time, I think, almost.
Yeah, and I was reading up like that because of the quote unquote violent nature of the game. Like a lot of retailers refuse to stock it. It's like violent. Like you don't see any blood, or I don't think you see any blood. It's just like pixels.
I don't know, man. I mean, if you think about it, once upon a time, that's how pornography looked.
Just
Just,
pixels.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
We've been
so
talking a lot about
let's
porn, more
talk.
than I thought about pornography.
Let's talk about this movie, which we have not begun really. So they get to the
All right.
hospital, and
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
Halloween penalty. Do you think hospitals have Halloween penalties? Because that seems hilariously grotesque and morbid to me.
Yeah, that's probably not. I mean, especially with, Halloween parties with like cupcakes, probably not drinking, full on parties, no. But
And
I gotta,
costumes. Imagine like you're in a coma, you fucking wake up to a doctor dressed as Dracula. Your husband is like dying from like fucking a gut shot wound. And then the nurse comes in dressed as like Elvira.
or in the background, you just hear like "I'm your boogeyman" like playing on a fucking radio.
So insulting.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention though is that there was this fat ass synth like riff going on or something like
The
that, and I was
whole
like, oh my
movie.
god, it sounded so fucking good.
It was like
Uh,
what, the same three notes over and over?
yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, and I was like, just put it into my veins. I fucking love it. And then we see the credits just real quick, and it says super violent slow motion kung fu choreographer Michael Beckman.
I did not see that. Say that again.
Super violent slow motion kung fu choreographer.
Is it too late for me to find a new like occupation in life? Because that's what I want to do in life.
So there's this company who puts out like t-shirts like it'll be say like written by or produced by Deborah Hill or something like that, like crediting like these people who aren't credited a lot.
It's like
It's
Yuka something.
Yeah,
I
exactly,
have
yeah.
a hat from them.
Super
Super
Yaki.
Yaki. Yeah.
Yes, I had a t-shirt from them as well.
I
They do stuff like that. I want
let
them.
me tell you what I have, Phils.
What do you have?
I have a hat that I bought when my movie came out, and it says feature presentation. And I thought, aha, I'm in the business now. I'm gonna get this hat.
You're
So
like every director has this hat, or every writer has this hat.
you know something does not fit my head.
Not as well as that demon's hat fits.
No, this demon's hat fits well. Okay, go on with what you were saying. I
No,
apologize.
no, no, it's cool. So choreographer Michael Beckman. I want that on a shirt, like super violent slow motion kung fu choreographer Michael Beckman. And
We
I
could
thought like,
we could get that made and sell it.
yeah, I think so. So like I just think, what are we in for? And then it goes to the party. The first image we see is Michael Myers blowing I don't know what the word is. I was thinking party flute, but it's not the word. What is that? Streamer or the thing that makes noise? Noisemaker or something?
I don't know what it's called, but I know what you
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah. So blowing one of that, and that's important because that mask is going to be important in a couple minutes here.
Yeah. We
So
do get some pretty cool animated lightning.
Yes.
I don't know how they made that. I'm not smart enough to know like the technology aspect of it, but it was pretty cool how it looked.
So they draw the lightning on the clear plastic like cells, and then they put that over the film of what they've shot already, and then that's how they
Okay,
animate it. Yeah.
makes sense.
But so the guy who's filming at the theater gets taken to the hospital. Somebody's like, it's like a reporter or something is trying to stop the ambulance drivers, the ambulance men. What are they called? EMTs from like
Paramedics,
going in. Paramedics, yeah. And
ambulance
like,
men.
and he like punches the reporter to get him the fuck away. Then we see the nurses are drunk, doctors are drunk, and some lady possibly gets assaulted, or we don't know what the dude's saying, but like he's like just starts groping her breast and she's saying things, and she's like the bodily language didn't feel like she wanted it. But
I
regardless,
don't think I even saw this. I might have
yeah.
zoned out.
So then, but if you blink, you will miss how Michael Myers comes back. I cannot speak.
All
If
I
you blink,
saw
you will
was
miss how he comes back.
all I saw was the mask moving by itself. I think I missed something. What else happened?
The lightning storm
Hmm.
hits the building, the lights go out, and then the mask is animated, starts pulling itself, and then we jump cut and Myers is back. We got Myers, people. That's it. Like that's it. That's how it happens.
Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey
And
Myers is there.
so it's odd. Like my recollection of this one is not as vivid as the first movie. I think maybe I was just getting sleepy at this point. My next note is great sizzled stab through head. And I can't recall exactly the context, but I know he stabs somebody through the back of the head and it comes out through the top of his lip. And I thought that was super fucking cool.
Yeah, that's right. That happens next. So we see the nice mask. So it's an upgraded mask from the first one. And Michael Myers kills one of the EMTs by stabbing him with the scissors. And then the guy who was on the gurney, who we believe was the guy from the hospital, no, I'm sorry, from the theater, like runs away. And as he's running away, Michael Myers looks back at him like, really? You're running? Really? Like it was just a kind of funny interaction.
And if we could understand Swedish, we probably would have heard the guy yell, "Send mil paramedics," right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know when that movie came out. I think that was the 90s, so maybe not.
84.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So then we see these people making out.
Yes.
Then, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats.
Well, before that, did you see what fell on the ground?
No, I didn't.
A stack of Fangoria magazine issues.
Oh, okay.
It's really funny. They just have these at this hospital.
Yeah, I mean that's the number one place you go to buy your Fangoria magazines, that hospital.
Swedish hospitals.
Swedish
Yes.
hospitals, yeah.
So who do we have pop
So
up?
we see Leatherface and Jason show up. Don't ask. They're here. It's fine.
How do they show up again? Like, what's the entrance to them? They just
It's a cut. It's a jump cut.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're there. There's no. It's not explained where like the lightning and then maybe the lightning hit the magazine. I don't know. It wasn't very.
Maybe so.
Yeah, like through like travel through the building into the man. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
Jason and Bubba are here. Bubba cuts off the lady's arm with his chainsaw.
Yeah.
Looks great. Looks great.
You can see the edge end of this fake film really clear. You see like the stub where you're supposed to place it into a mannequin.
Yeah.
They do not try to hide this.
And then he proceeds to beat her to death with her own dismembered arm.
I thought that was great. I love a good like whipping scene. It reminded me a little bit of the snake whipping scene from We Need to Do Something. I don't know why I'm plugging my movie so much in this episode. I don't know. I'm desperate to feel attention, but it was great. It was pretty cool. I love when you use someone's limb as a weapon. And then we get to someone, I think Mikey, throwing acid into someone else's face. Is that right?
Jason throws acid in. So two people were making out, the man and the woman. The woman gets her arm cut off. Jason throws acid in the dude's face. and then looks really surprised at the outcome of what the fuck's happening. He even chuckles to himself a little bit. And what did you think about these effects?
Pretty great. Like he begins like touching his face and like the skin just comes to pieces, right?
Yeah, very reminiscent of Poltergeist. That mirror scene.
Yes, that is what it reminded me of. It reminded me of something, but I couldn't place it. That was awesome. I don't know how the fuck they did that, but I wish I knew.
Yeah. So what I think they did was they had it was a mannequin head or like a rubber head. And then somebody's hands, they were standing behind this mannequin, and then somebody's hands was just peeling apart this rubber latex. And just so I
That's a
think
good
I
idea.
think that's how they pulled it off. It would look great,
That sounds.
But I mean, I just love the ingenuity and like what you can do with low budget filmmaking.
I want to make a movie. I have a mannequin. She's really sexy. Uh, so the next thing I had to pause the movie and write down this note because it fucking blew my mind. I'm just gonna read the note. A man and woman find a dead body. The man uses his stethoscope on him to check if he's alive. Meanwhile, for some reason, the woman unzips the dead guy's fly and grabs his dick. When this happens, the dead guy opens his eyes and says, "Hubba, hubba," and then attacks them. He takes the man's head and spins it all the way around, snapping his neck, then goes through his pockets, finds curl keys, looks at them, and says, "Hubba, hubby, fuck me. Hubba, hubba, Mercedes Benz."
Yeah.
What the hell?
What the hell? That woman disappears and we don't see her again, which is cool. She escaped, I guess. But the payoff to this, I was like, are we going to see a fucking zombie driving a Mercedes Benz? Because if so, 5 stars right fucking now.
Yeah.
But it does not happen, which is very disappointing.
I was hoping for the same thing. And it's kind of why on Letterboxd, I gave it 1 star less than I did the first pill to the movie.
Because we need to see that zombie driving the Mercedes Benz. One thing I wanted to mention right before that is after Jason and Bubba kill those 2 people, they celebrate with a choreographed high five, which is amazing. Just absolutely.
This
amazing.
reminded me of the high. Again, I'm gonna fucking self-promote something. You and myself and some friends of ours, we made a movie called Satan His Own Self. It's on YouTube. It's like 15 minutes long. But at the end, Andrew and Trey, after they successfully transferred Satan into Andrew's body, they do a fairly similar like handshake before deciding to go get Taco Bell.
Yeah, it was a fun time. That was a fun time. You guys should go check it out. Is it on Ghoulish's YouTube?
Yeah, it's on Ghoulish's YouTube. It's pretty fun. That's as soon as I saw this really comical high five handshake, that's what it reminded me of. So yeah, that happens. They just walk off to go find someone else to slaughter. I mean, is this like the first time slashers have been mashed up? Because Jason versus Freddy definitely happened after this.
Yeah, there was a movie from the 80s. It was like a made-for-TV movie, and it kind of combined a lot of this stuff. It combined zombies and witches and ghouls, goblins, slashers, like ghosts, like all that sort of stuff. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up again. Yeah, so the movie that I was trying to think of, it's called The Midnight Hour from 1985.
Yeah.
It was a made-for-TV movie starring like Sherry Belafonte, LeVar Burton, and a bunch of other people.
That movie is incredible. We watched that like 2 months ago on the Ghoulish Discord channel. I did like a watch along and we watched it. One of the funnest Halloween parody scenes I've ever seen. And it's relevant.
Halloween.
Yeah. It's relevant because we have a Halloween parody going on in the movie we're talking about too. But yeah, The Midnight Owl. I randomly saw that it was available on YouTube, which is how we do the watch alongs. So I just threw it on. What a great time. I love that movie.
Yeah, and it's like if you ever want to get into the Halloween mood, watch The Midnight Hour. It's so much fun. And like nobody talks about it. And I don't understand why, but it's so good. It's so much fun. And they have, like I said, they have all your favorite, zombies, vampires, ghouls, goblins, slashers, mummies, all of that in there. It's great.
You remind me of Cheech from Dusk Till Dawn when he's standing outside
Pussy,
what's that place called?
the titty twister.
The titty twister. We got zombies, we got ghouls, we got apple pie ghouls.
Wow, what was that accent you were doing? What was that?
Oh no. Moving on.
So now starts the fart humor in the movie. They're in the bathroom and there's somebody taking a big dump. You hear the noise.
Well, before that happens, we have, I think, a security guard. He goes into the bathroom and begins bashing the condom dispenser with a baton.
Yeah, I didn't understand why, so I didn't write it down, but yeah.
I think he had tried to and it ate his money, so he was pissed and he was bashing it. But if he was a security guard, surely he would have a key to just open that.
I don't think so. I think the grounds people, the maintenance people.
Okay, I guess I'm basing this off of my experience doing the night shift at a hotel. Well, I had a key to open everything, but I was every occupation, so that makes more sense. Never mind.
Yeah. But so then somebody's supposedly taking a huge dump in the bathroom. The security guard goes to check what's happening. Or no, is it the clumsy man or whatever?
No, it's not the clumsy man.
It is the security guard?
Yeah, because that's how he gets distracted from bashing the condom machine because there's a loud fucking just rip from the bathroom stall behind them. So
and he goes to look at it,
which is really funny. Like if I'm in a bathroom and someone lets loose behind me in a locked bathroom stall, I'm not gonna go, well, that's odd. I better investigate this.
Yeah. And so he goes investigate it. Michael Myers is there, grabs him and extreme swirlies him, just like pushes him down into the toilet. So
his entire body, folks, is swallowed by the toilet, and he's flushed away, and he is gone.
Yes, but are we to believe that Michael Myers was the one who was taking that big old dookie?
I don't think he was shitting. I think he was just letting one loose to like beckon this guy to him. He's not Zach Chapman. He can have flatulence without shitting.
Okay. All right. I can see that. Zach can't do that. Yeah. Speaking of, this is the third episode. The first episode, you talked about you shitting yourself.
Yeah.
Second episode, I talked about me shitting myself.
Now this to be Phil, this is going to be like episode 5, probably.
I forget how time works. Yes. Okay.
But go on. What?
Well, I was just going to say that this episode, nobody has shit on themselves yet, so we don't have an update for you guys.
I may have to edit in like news if one of us shits ourselves before this comes out on Halloween.
I hope it's only like 2 weeks away. I think, or 2 weeks. I think we could do it.
I don't know.
Hopeful for us.
My stomach's pretty rock solid at the moment. I had some breakfast tacos. I haven't had breakfast tacos in a while, and oh boy, I had some pretty spicy salsa too.
Okay, for you, I don't really know what spicy means. Oh, but you do a great Mexican accent, so you're probably good with salsa.
I am red in the face. Let's continue.
So then, Michael Myers, what the fuck happens here? He comes across a woman who's drinking.
Yes.
He hands him a bottle, the bottle, and he takes a drink, then smashes it over the nurse's head, and then sticks her with it.
Before he smashes it, there's like a Looney Tunes bit where he gets instantly drunk. Like the camera zooms in on him, he's like, whoa.
Yeah, that's true. His eyes bug out. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
But then he sticks her with it in the face or in the chest. I forget. But either way, it looks great. It's a great effect. And then we see Jason and Bubba. They kind of attack these women, but they make them strip down full frontal, which is a bit weird. But
so women running away from the horny zombie, who is played by the guy whose bio we read previously. Like when the zombie sees the ladies, one of his eyeballs like pops out of his socket, and he begins chasing him. And then they run into Jason. And why do you keep calling him Bubba?
Oh, Bubba is his nickname. That's what people call him, Bubba.
Really?
Yeah, Leatherface, Bubba.
I've
That's
never. Is this like a Dead by Dawn thing?
Dead by Daylight thing. It's big in Dead by Daylight.
Okay,
Yeah, but
sorry. How
but I
offended did you just? Were you a little offended when I did the accent, or a little offended when I called it Dead by Dawn?
definitely Dead by Dawn. But I wasn't offended by the Mexican accent that you just did.
Was not intentional.
I I loved it. It was great.
It was pretty
Uh,
good though, right?
yeah, it was good. You should be happy about your Mexican accent that you did there.
Thank you.
You should do it again.
No.
So yeah, so they
They
strip
strip the
down
ladies,
full frontal, and
but
then
how do they strip them though? It's pretty funny
uh, with the
with the
chainsaw and with the
chainsaw.
machete
Yeah,
or
with
whatever.
like quick karate slashes, and like the camera cuts really fast, and they just like boom, 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 and then the clothes just pop off.
Yeah, it's silly.
It was pretty
It,
good.
I mean, it feels like mid '80s slasher finally got to these guys, to the writers of it, because we didn't see this in the first part, and there was like 2 years difference, right? Like 87, 89 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
So then the zombie shows up and he's trying to like kind of like quote unquote protecting his kill, and we see a fight scene. There's the zombie like does a leg sweep. He does a punching bag where he's literally punching Michael or Jason's face over and over. Basically, they get taken out.
he kicks Jason, and Jason vomits through his mask onto Bubba.
There you go. How do you feel saying that?
I don't like it.
Now I gotta look up if they called him Bubba, where it comes from, because it's from DVD. I know that, but I think it's
So to be all like all transparency, I haven't seen any of those movies beyond the original in a long time. I've been wanting to revisit the second one because I think it might be pretty awesome, but I haven't done it yet.
I've seen 3 of the original or whatever.
Yeah.
I've only seen, but I saw part 2, and I've never heard anything about it. Didn't look at a trailer or whatever, and I was expecting Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and
It's
it
a
ended up
different
being
tone, right? It's no
yeah, it's
comedy.
still Toby Hooper, but it's a different tone. It's more comedy, and I was like not expecting that at all. So I ended up hating it. This was maybe like 8 years ago, and I haven't revisited yet.
Which one has Renee Zellweger?
Zellweger, it's like
Yeah.
the Next Generation.
I've seen that one too, and I think it
I
was
saw that one when it
bad.
came out. Yeah, it's felt very dirty and nasty and gross.
I
It's
al-
got the all right guy, the McConaughey.
Yeah, I also saw like the initial remake in like 2005 or so, maybe 2002, and I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but it's pretty good. Maybe I haven't seen it since then, but I recall thinking this is not too bad.
I think his name is Bubba. It's Bubba Sawyer. I
But
just looked it up.
do they say that in the original?
Not in the
movie?
original, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they don't say Leatherface either. I don't think.
Right. But yeah, I remember the remake being pretty good. I saw it within the last couple of years, and I enjoyed it.
Okay, I might
All
want to
right.
revisit that one. Anyway, what were you looking at? Oh, Bubba.
Yeah. But so then they get taken out, Bubba and
Jason
get taken out, and then the zombie accepts a phone call from the cell phone.
Yeah. Don't
And
know
at
what's
this
being said.
Yeah, at this point, I was still very much thinking, "Oh yeah, he's gonna walk out to the car. He's gonna do it." Doesn't happen.
I was hoping he would go out to the garage and it would be a very similar scene from that Quentin Tarantino movie Kill Bill, where she finds the pussy wagon. That's what I was hoping would happen, but no such luck.
Michael Myers stuffs of the video of, I believe it was the resurrection of Michael Myers,
Yes.
into some dude's mouth.
Sideways, which is
Sideways.
really cool.
Very cool scene. It looked very obviously exaggerated, but very plasticky, very like Plastic Man-ish. I liked it. It was cool.
What's Plastic Man-ish?
Plastic Man is a superhero from the DC universe.
Oh,
He's
okay.
kind of like Elongated Man or Stretch Armstrong sort of
Does
thing.
he have a tape in his mouth? That's
No, but he can stretch his mouth to take. Well, sounds weird. He can stretch his mouth to take in bigger objects. So yeah.
The audience already knows like the joke that instantly began filming in my head as you continue talking, but I will not take the bait. Instead, yeah, we don't know it's that tape until later when someone like walks up and looks at the tape and goes, "Ooh, the resurrection of Michael Myers," and then they just leave it in this dead guy's mouth.
Yeah, he pulls it out. No, he pulls it out and
Oh,
he
okay.
starts messing around in the mouth too. It's weird. It's really weird. But they're like, we just made this appliance. We needed to get more out of it. So
Yeah.
let's fucking do it. But it looks great. And then Clumsy Man skateboards into a gurney. Like, you remember this part?
Yeah. He's running. He jumps over the gurney, and for some reason, a new skateboard is in the hallway waiting for him. And so he lands on that, and it's like, whoa! And he just begins skateboarding around for a while, and I don't quite understand how that scene ends.
Yeah, I don't either. It doesn't really need a lot of explanation.
No.
Then we hear like there's like this funky Halloween 2 version, like theme version, and a new security guard is like breakdancing to it.
He tries to break dance, but then he gets dizzy and then he can't like walk straight. Really funny.
This is the guy that removes the tape from the stretched mouth.
Okay.
And then these in my notes here, the zombie shows up again, and the security guard has a gun. But in my notes, I put the zombie forces the security guard to shit himself. I was like,
no,
shoots. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? But that'd be a different movie. But yeah, so shoot himself, and it's a nice effect here, like just the blood splatter against the back of the wall.
What does he say though before the shot? He goes,
I forget.
He goes, "Make my day." The zombie is full of movie quotes. I mean, Hubba Hubba. It has to be like famous from some movie, I assume.
So then Myers kills that zombie.
Yeah.
With stabbing him in the head again. And I thought, fuck, he never got to drive the Mercedes. I was really, really disappointed in that. And then Michael Myers and the dude that he's been chasing.
No. What happens after he stabs the zombie in the head?
Right. Well, they look on as the zombie like reaches back and eats his own brains. And he says brains or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And then they look at each other like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's definitely like a Bugs Bunny double take. Yeah. Pretty awesome. So I want you, when I count to 3, I want you to look to your left and I'll look to my left and we'll do the same face. This is full Patreon, okay? 1, 2, 3. Oh no, I thought that. So you look to your right then.
No, my left.
Yeah, I said look to your left.
I did left, then I did right. Then
okay. Well, by the time I looked back, you were already looking that way.
Yes.
Okay, never mind.
One more time?
Nope.
One more time?
Nope. All
right.
They take his mask.
Thumbnail. It could be the thumbnail.
Okay.
One more time. Let's do it. One. No, what you
Oh God!
It's done.
I give up.
Okay.
I give up.
Right.
The clumsy man takes off the mask once again, and we immediately cut to Hawaii or some type of beach, some paradise on the beach, and it's a dream again. He's like, oh God, I had this crazy dream. The Leatherface was and Jason, you can hear like the English names of all the slashers. That's all you can make out, but it's obvious he's recounting what happened in the dream, and his friends are like, "Ooh, Swedish stuff," until it happens.
You tell me, because I have one thing what I think it is referencing, but I'm not sure.
So one of the main friends had sunglasses on. So after the clumsy man is done talking, the guy with sunglasses takes off his glasses, and it's revealed to be the horny blue-faced zombie from the dream. And he's like, Hubba Hubba. Well, maybe he doesn't say anything. I don't know. He laughs at least. Did you think it was Frederick again?
No. So he takes the glasses off, and then you just see they focus on the eyes.
Same eyes.
Okay. I thought they were referencing the end of the Thriller music video / movie, because those are the kind of the eyes that Michael Jackson has at the end of them.
Oh,
so that's why I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. So it makes more sense what you're saying. It's a zombie.
Yeah, it's the same zombie who was like Mercedes Benz.
Was his face all white like the zombie, or no? Was it just the eyes?
It was just the eyes, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
if my recollection is correct.
Okay. And then that's it.
That's the
But
movie.
I think I'm like, wait, is this a Swedish rap song titled "The Resurrection of Michael Myers"? And she's singing the words "The Resurrection of Michael Myers,"
Yeah.
and then some dude starts rapping in English, and I
Yeah.
think, fuck, I need this song. It's so cool. I'm loving it. Then we get the silly dancing credits again, but they cut it off before they were done, and I was like, what a tragedy. I was vibing to this song.
Yeah, I plan on ending this episode with that audio. I'm gonna take it from YouTube and put it on the end of this podcast because people have to listen to it. It won't be on the Patreon video because I'm not going to edit the Patreon video. But
Yeah.
we also upload the audio only tracks to Patreon too. So if you're watching the video and you're like, I'm getting ripped off, just go to the audio and go to the end. And you will listen to it. It's great, but prepare to be disappointed when it ends abruptly.
Yeah, if anybody listening to this knows the name of that track or knows who sang it, whatever, I'm going to do some research on it as well. But yeah, if you know it, hit us up. Let us know.
If you know, what was his name? Mike Beck.
Yeah, Mike Beck.
If you know Mike Beck, connect us. We have questions.
Definitely. Yes.
We have lots of questions. I think that's it. How do you want to rate this? How would you rate both movies combined total?
Well, we need to figure out of what, like out of
Hubba Hubbas.
five Hubba Hubbas. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of 5 Hubba Hubbas, I'm gonna give this a solid like 3.5. I think 4 is too high. I think 3.5 is 3 is too low. I think 3.5 because it's a lot of fun. It's just fun. Like you know, I know there's a lot of Halloween fan films that I really haven't delved into just because I'm like, I don't know. The Carpenter's Vision is on screen. You can watch that. But having watched this, I'm like, I may want to start watching some of those fan films because this was a lot of fun.
When you do your Halloween rankings going forward, are you going to include these movies in that?
I think I could include them. I know for a fact that it would be above or before Rob Zombie's Halloween's.
Yeah.
And like it would be even probably before like Resurrection, like Halloween Resurrection. So yeah, I could probably do that.
I think with me it's Halloween 3, Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and then the resurrection of Michael Myers.
Which Rob Zombie movie?
The second one.
Wow.
Haven't even seen it. I have it on DVD though. Maybe you and I could watch it at the bookshop someday.
No. That's okay. I'll let you watch it.
You don't want to do like a themed like remake sequel that's better than the original movie?
No.
No,
I'm
okay.
Good. I'm good.
I would rate this combined probably like 5 Hubba Hubbas. I loved it. I mean,
well, you said earlier on your letterbox that you subtracted a score because he didn't.
That was just for the second one, but the average of what I rated.
Do you know how math works? If something is
no, I don't. 5 Hubba Hubbas. Okay. Just the fucking spirit of these people making these movies. It's so inspirational. It's difficult to deduct anything from these fucking Swedish people making a fan movie in the 80s in a wheelhouse and also a hospital. Like, how the fuck did they get access to this hospital?
Yeah. I love the energy. I love the spirit. I love everything about it.
You love the vibes.
Like I'm the vibes chilling. You're right. It's kind of hard to compare it. So when I'm rating it, I'm rating it by other measures, and it's like it's different, right? You know what? You're right. We should measure these off of other shot on video movies.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So
compare this to Video Violence 2.
And what I would say to that is I'm going to give it a full, I'm going to do 4.5. 4.5.
Hell yeah.
Hubba Bubbas.
No, that's not his name. That's just his name in the video game you watch on YouTube.
Yeah. Nice.
Thank you. Do you don't play it, right? You just watch it.
I play it. No, I play it. Oh. I don't play it as much because I'm
podcasting
all the goddamn time now.
You do a lot of podcasting.
Yeah, people are sick of me.
I cannot believe you said yes to doing this. It's really surprising to me.
It was only when after you were like, yeah, every 2 weeks, I was like, okay, yeah, we can do that.
I mean, I said that, but I'm tricking you. Eventually, it's just going to be every week, and we're going to be too into it for you to say no.
Honestly, if the Patreon pops off, that could be one thing. We're like, all right, every week.
I mean, it's fun. I mean, we just watch a movie and then talk about it. It's not like that much milk.
Yeah, it's the note taking. The note taking is the work.
Sometimes, yeah. I imagine once we begin doing episodes on movies, like will we have the Blu-rays and all the bonus features that we can explore, that will be very time consuming because like this should have already come out by now, but you and I are about to record an episode on captives, and I had bought the Blu-ray from a company, but the whole like purpose of watching it, then rewatching it with DVD commentary, the for some reason I haven't received this Blu-ray, even though it's been like 2 months. So eventually we will begin doing movies where we have access to all the bonus material, and that will be pretty time consuming, but I think fun. If it's not fun, we'll just stop doing this, unless we have a lot of patrons, and then we will be doing this for the rest of our lives.
Or we run out of shot on video movies. But we found something that wasn't a shot on video movie, but a shot on video when we went VHS hunting at your friend's store, which I'm looking forward to. We're not going to announce it.
Yeah, we won't say the title,
but we're looking forward to doing an episode on something that's not a horror movie per se, but it is dealing with themes in the horror genre and shot on video.
All right. I believe that's it. Do you have anything to promote, Miguel?
Just a podcast, My Horror Confessional. It's now on. It's been announced this past Friday. It is on the Ghoulish Podcast Network. If you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at MHCPod. You can follow me on Instagram at My Horror Confessional. You can email the show at myhorrorconfessional@gmail.com.
Yeah, and you can find out anything about the company, about the books we do at ghoulish.lip. That's RIP, ghoulish.rip. Now, before we go, I forgot to think about this ahead of time. Did you have anything you wanted to recommend for those who might have liked this? Maybe we already have with the Midnight Owl. Maybe that's the recommendation.
Yeah, I definitely recommend the Midnight Hour. If you haven't seen it, and not a lot of people have, it's shot on video. I'm sorry, not shot on video. It was a made for TV movie.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun. I haven't really gotten into the Halloween spirit yet this year. Just been busy traveling and stuff like that. So
you just came back from a Halloween convention.
Yeah. I know. But like coming home, like I haven't decorated or anything. Like have you guys decorated yet?
Yeah, we did, which is pretty surprising because usually we were so busy, we don't get to do it until like 2 days before Halloween. But this the October 1st, it was a Sunday, and we didn't have anything planned, so we decided let's just spend today doing it now because we have every other weekend pretty much booked. So we did it all, got it done that day. Pretty excited.
I would love to see some pictures because normally you send pictures in the chat. So
I'll take some tonight.
Oh yeah. All right.
That's it. Yeah. Go subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com, Decayed Tapes. If you want to watch a video version of this, we'll be badly attempt to do a double take together, which is how we're going to end it right now. Ready? Go. Fuck.
Nice.
Close your eyes, get ready for a long ride as I open the gates to the dark side. A one-way ticket, but I'm sure you can't resist my invitation. No need to bring a crucifix. Whatever you believe, this will be different. My trip is not heaven sent.
Live spooky, die spooky.